My topic is on the effects of female genital mutilation, FGM, among the Borana Muslim girls in a place called Marsabit County. I will show who the Borana people are as we continue. But why this topic? Why FGM among the Borana Muslim women? And my interest in this topic stems from 3 reasons. And the first one is, I did a research in 2013 on an issue with illiteracy. And out of that, FGM, female genital mutilation, came out as a very strong component in hindering illiteracy. So I used that as an area of further research. So when I got the opportunity, I thought, why not? Let me continue with this aspect. Then the second reason is real stories of trauma, and real stories from my friends, my Borana Muslim friends. And most of the time we'd be talking with my friend like Fatuma, and we're just talking about something, and we head to such a discussion, and just at once maybe she'll be laughing and sharing how it has been, and then at once she goes like, and then she says, Habiba, it's her daughter. And so I just realized how terrible this issue was affecting her. And so I thought, why not work on it to see how much you can get out of it. And then, of course, they are Muslims. The Borana people are Muslim people, and Christ died for them too. So it is my passion, it's my calling, that is what the Lord has called me to do, and these are the people that I reach out to. I just continue? Okay. Sorry. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. If it was the Borana people, they would have said is the gene of the Borana people that has refused. There's a gene called Ayana that refused in, so maybe it has reached Australia. So what's the problem statement? The problem of this issue is that I started by saying, the strength of every religion lies in its ability to offer peace and guidance to its people, to its adherents. And according to someone called Kapan, he claims that Islam is a religion of progress, innovation, development of every generation and time. But when I look at Islam still, it alienates largely on questions related to gender issues. And especially when we come to FGM, it often fails to elucidate its understanding on this subject. So FGM remains a prominent issue among the Borana Muslim women, and it is not handled well in Islam. So the intention of this paper, therefore, is to look for ways in which we can help the Borana Muslim women fight their voice and make it safe for them to feel safe. The research will look at female genital mutilation as, of course, one of the main challenges, and underscore some key strategies that we could help tackle that issue. The Borana Muslims people, I heard that they live in the northeastern part of Kenya, Africa. In Nairobi, there are 2 major slum areas where they live, and that is Kibera. One is called Kibera. It's the largest slum area in Eastern Africa, and with more than 1.2 million people, and the Borana lives there. Another one is called Kariobangi, which is also equally a large slum area, and we have a number of Borana Muslim women live there. Also, I've worked among the Borana women for close to 15 years now. But this research was done from where they come from, a place called Marsabit County. So my research questions were 3, and the first one is, what is the correlation between female genital mutilation and culture among the Borana Muslim women? Then what are the main factors contributing to the spread of female genital mutilation among the Borana Muslim women? And of course, what are the effects related to the practice of female genital mutilation among the Borana Muslim women? What is the significance of doing such a study? One, I simply believe that the question of FGM among the Borana Muslim women, it's worth considering, and it deserves serious investigation. Reason, I have seen some of my Muslim friends and some believers. I have a discipleship group of more than 15 women going through, and anytime they are talking about an issue related, sometimes they will just keep quiet. And you'd have like 30 minutes of no talk. And sometimes they're just sharing about their own pain. The findings also will certainly be momentous in helping the Borana Muslim women to find their voice in their own context. I believe it is possible. And finally, of course, missiologically, I believe that this research presents another gracious invitation for Christian practitioners to make a more serious attempt in helping the Borana Muslims women find their voice without shame, because it is possible. I used qualitative research method, phenomenology, all those details. And the reason why I did this is because phenomenological research, it's concentrated on lived experiences. So a part of the women that I interviewed are women who've gone through it. Of course, we did not sit down and say, have you done it, have you, haven't you? But of course, from the interview, I identified with what they have gone through. And then, of course, narrative analysis. I did a narrative analysis. They would share their story. Just tell me. If you're willing to say that, tell me how was your experience. So in this research, I identified 4 key findings which contribute to FGM. And the first one is religion, illiteracy, cultural orientation of the Borana people, and gender inequality. Now, when you look at the religion, I mean, all the sects that we know, but just mentioning, like the Shafi school, it considers FGM as wajib. Wajib is obligatory. Then we have the Hanibari school. These are the 4, Africa. Our part is Sunni. So identify this as Makruma. Makruma is honorable. Then there's a school called Malik, and it considers FGM as Sunnah. It is optional, but it's preferred. Then there's another school called Hanafi. It considers female circumcision also to be Sunnah. But the question is FGM purely an Islamic practice? And I say no. I mean, this study is quick to indicate that although FGM is seen to be more prevalent in Islamic countries and societies, it is not entirely an Islamic problem. And one person, Nyamogo, asserts that FGM is majorly connected to traditional and cultural practices in most traditional African communities. I was sharing with a country member in one of our meal times about a tribe group called the Maasai. And Maasai, there's a place called Kajiado where we've done a lot of awareness and workshops. And in one time, there's just a group of men, groups somewhere, and then we are asking, why are men being regrouped like that? And they say these people have been converted to Islam. And we are like, why? The Muslims would come and tell them, how many wives do you have? He said, I have 2. If you become a Muslim, you can add 2 to 3, other than a third one and a 4th one. And then FGM, I mean, your girls, for the Christianity, of course, will go against FGM. But if you become a Muslim, whatever you want to do with your girls can be done. It is nothing that you have to change about this. And for some reasons, of course, it will not be said as I've said it, but I tell you, Maasais, a number of Maasais, and especially the elderly, became Muslims as a result of those incentives. So for the girls, what about illiteracy? There's a very deep correlation between illiteracy and FGM. According to a man called Nyamongo, he says the Borana girls who have been subjected to FGM are often considered grown-ups and eligible for marriage. For the girls who continue with education, findings show that they are often absent or less attentive again in class, leading, of course, to poor performance, interruptions, and premature termination of schooling. What about, now, for those girls, as a result, the girls lose interest with school and identify entirely with their new roles as wives. To those who defy the order and continue in spite of being married, being circumcised, they soon they become pregnant and cease at that point. I know of a girl, when I was doing my thesis, of this girl who narrated that she had to literally beg her husband to allow her to go up to 8th level of school. We usually have a system 844. So at least she was begging to go up to class 8, and by that time she was in class 5. And the husband allowed, but only for 3 months, so she could not finish her schooling. So other issues that are related, affect illiteracy as a girl goes through FGM is, of course, the health complications such as fistula. Fistula is a condition where women are unable to hold urine, and that is very, very common in Kenya. Actually, we even have a place in our national hospital where such women, such women are treated. And of course, birth complication, HIV and tetanus, and I had put some pictures of some of the tools that I have seen that the women are using. Because this is not done by FGM is not done by medical trainees, practitioners. It's the old women in the village. You know, I wish you would have seen some of those tools. They are awful. Okay, let me, I don't know if you can see from there. These are some of the tools. Can you see from there? Yeah. These are some of the tools that are being used. Of course, it would have been, you know, this is a laser blade, you know. And if you say, you know, the woman who is doing it, she's another woman who is not trained. So what does that mean? Many questions, infection, and finally getting this unspoken needs, unspoken shame of HIV. Borana will never talk about HIV issues among them. The other issue was cultural orientation. Most Borana women think FGM is okay. You know, there's a metaphor that says, you know, a girl is like a vegetable, you know, that blossoms at a time, and then after some time it goes, you know, a vegetable will only blossom for a time. So that is the time that this girl needs to be circumcised and get married quickly when she's still strong. Sadly to say, some of them are just 10 or 11 years old. Again, bring cultural orientation. Borana believes that, a girl will bring honor to the family. It means, you know, you get circumcised, you get married, then more cows and more camels, you know, for the family. The bride price, of course, will be high. For the girl, if I don't go, who will marry me? No boy will talk to me, and I'll be the laughingstock of the family. Now, for the women, you can imagine, the women are very happy. But as I shared, that sometimes Fatima would be very happy about talking about it, and then she would just go like, my daughter. I'm thinking, what is it? Then she would say, Habiba. And that's, of course, that is something. Then the girls, pain is not equal to stigma. Let me go through this pain, but at least I'll have a place in my society. This picture was taken by my friend. I couldn't take it, but she took it because she was right inside the place. She's a teacher, and some of these are her pupils. So she was allowed in. Then gender inequality. Findings show that gender inequality reinforces FGM. In the cultures that practice female circumcision, women have minimal rights and are often viewed as a property of their families and then later their husbands. FGM is a violent assault carried out without informed consent, and it's a way to entrench this power imbalance. So are there voices against FGM? Yes, there are some people who've talked about this, and first of all is the feminist. They say it is not right, it's a risk health. Then we have the Sharia consultants, you know, the Sharia law consultants, and they say, I am not saying consult a Baba, you know, Baba, the one who cut beards or something, but consult a female doctor sister. The female doctor will decide. She may say, this girl is normal, or she might say that this part is excessive. Then you reduce it. And he says, this is justice. Then FGM, according to NGOs that have spoken about this, they say it's a call, FGM is a call for global action. Then World Bank and UNFPA, they say FGM is represented as an unfinished agenda and is recognized as a health and human rights issue among the women, especially in Africa. Then we have the medics. They say it has no health benefits, so it is often believed that a girl who has undergone circumcision is cleaner and more fertile. But this is known to be false. Female circumcision increases vaginal and uterine infections and also increases the risk of infertility. So these are people who are speaking out on it. What about the human rights? Yes, they say female circumcision is a violation of the rights of girls and women. The UN General Assembly in the last assembly said, they have adopted a resolution banning FGM because the practice is harmful and a serious threat to women. It is, of course, carried out, as I said, without consent and forcibly against a girl's will. And of course, this contravenes treaties such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So how, you can imagine, okay, now this awareness have been created. So what are the Borana Muslim women doing about it? And expected, of course, it is expected that when this is being said, then the Borana women will adhere and they will move away from it. But far from this, far from the reality that is happening in the ground, Borana Muslim women have started to circumcise girls at the earliest age possible. You know why? When the resistance is minimal. I had this picture of girls, very small girls, being laid for circumcision. These are 5 or 6 years old. And this is what is happening. So why is FGM an important subject to us? Because we need, and I quote my mentor, we need to be rethinking the gospel. Although this trend of the FGM, I mean these people who've spoken against FGM, this trend foster hope to the Borana Muslim women. Their understanding of Islam is limited to rituals and does not subscribe to a dynamic philosophy that has the establishment of justice at its core. Thus, it is far to become a reality for girls who cannot otherwise fight for themselves. I like Filippo Grandi. He states this: no one becomes a refugee, poor, or a slave by choice. But the rest of us can have a choice about how we can help. We are the people. We are their voices. We are to shout the loudest for them. In most cases, and especially those who've gone through psychological trauma, it leads them to depression. It leads them to anxiety disorders and post-traumatic stress. And you know what? It makes them hard to even hear the gospel. Why? Because in Borana community, if someone is depressed or has something like schizophrenia, they are ostracized, they are put aside, they cannot be part of the community. So what does that mean to her? When will you ever get an opportunity to share the gospel research? And that makes me sad. I just watched a feature the other day of a number of girls who are somewhere in a place called Disley. And they are according to them, they are schizophrenic. According to them, they are depressed, of course, because of some of these issues. But this girl was crying out and shouting and saying, no, I am not mad. I am here because I am saying what they are doing to me. I had another photo of of some of them, what they are doing to them, but let me not get there. Finally, missiological implications. What is our role? I mean, we need to continue to create awareness among the Borana Muslims on the effects of FGM. Then there must be continuous dialogues. Then lead open forums on FGM interdenominational meetings where Christians and Muslims come. If they are able to speak, why not speak it out? Then this should be a joint effort by all stakeholders, practitioners, us who are here, who can speak. The government, of course, children rights activists and Borana Muslim themselves. Then sharing amongst those who have passed through it, and of course, speak it out, speak it louder, and keep it going. Silence does not mean it is okay. Thank you.